Hello and welcome back to my reaction to the documentary Murder in Paradise. This video is part 5 and it covers 4 minutes from the 21-minute mark with some commentary from me. This part, in my opinion at least, is the highlight of the documentary, as it highlights that Nick Pearson's death on the 1st of January 2014 could not have been an accident, despite the police dismissing it as such.
The arrests are a coup for the Thai police. In a show of confidence, they stage a public reconstruction on Siri Beach.
These public reconstructions are really pretty offensive to anyone who's studied law or is involved in justice. The reconstructions are really the police story as to what happened, and people are forced to take part in these reconstructions, and it really does away with the presumption of innocence. So they're pretty unpleasant.
Yet there is growing unease on Koh Tao. The Thai police's track record is hardly unblemished, especially when investigating the deaths of Western tourists. 8 months before Hannah and David were murdered, Nick Pearson died on the island. The Pearsons were on a family holiday. After a night out on Siri Beach, they returned to their hotel at around 2 a.m. Nick had had a drink and needed help getting to his room.
All of us went back together. We took Nick back to his room because me and my dad had to help him. He was limping. His knee was really infected from a fall that he'd had a few days before that.
My husband saw him to his room and watched him get in bed. Took his shoes off and his shorts and climbed into bed, said good night.
The next day, he was found floating in the bay at the bottom of this hotel. He was in the same underwear he had worn to bed, and his key was still inside his room. An autopsy revealed he had no broken bones, suggesting he did not fall.
We thought, oh, maybe there's a chance that he could have sleptwalked or something, but when you look at the layout of the resort, there's nobody is going to sleepwalk around that environment. There's steep rocks and steep steps and everything curving around and going around corners and stuff. So I mean that's completely out of the question.
It must have been.
I think that the director and his crew need to be given credit here, because not only do we hear the Pearson side of the story, but we actually see some footage of how steep the steps and so forth are beneath Nick's room. And so it really lends credibility to their statement that he couldn't have simply gone off and started sleepwalking.
Been about 50 feet down to the water, just on a gradient, but it was all rocky. We walked down to see how maybe it could have fallen into the water, but when he got not too far down, there was a massive rock, so he wouldn't have been able to fall any further because the rock would have stopped him.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to us that he would have walked all the way down to the bottom of the resort and slipped and fell into the ocean and drowned. It's like that just wouldn't have happened. There's no way.
The police concluded that Nick drowned and ruled out foul play. But his family thinks he might have been murdered. The night before, he had been warned off chatting to a young Thai woman in this bar.
I'll pause it there. One aspect of Thai culture, which is similar in this respect to a lot of other cultures in Asia and Southeast Asia, is that if someone loses face, they can behave extremely badly. So if we have a situation where Nick was talking to a young Thai woman who may have had a boyfriend who was an unpleasant individual, then that boyfriend may have felt that he's lost face, certainly in front of his peers, and that he now needs to make amends.
The Pearsons feel the Thai police did not do enough to investigate. They say they didn't look in his hotel room or interview any witnesses. Nick's brother Matt lived in Thailand for 4 years. He says he loves the country, but believes Koh Tao has no rule of law.
When you arrive by boat to Koh Tao, all you can see are these beautiful hills, green trees, blue skies, blue ocean, beautiful sandy beaches, paradise. But it seems like that is all a front, really, for the deeper, dark things that are happening, which we found out the hard way that the island is obviously run by the mafia.
The Thai police say they did investigate Nick's death and deny any allegations of corruption.
Okay, I'll pause it right there, and I'll just take us back to the statement from Professor Jonathan Foster, because it can be probably an appropriate time for the writer and the narrator to state that the comments from the Thai police just don't really seem very credible. And while we're here, just before we close on this part, I'd like to just point out what a senior coroner by the name of Craze said in the UK when he was investigating the death of Andrew Appley, who died in February 2017 on a neighbouring island of Koh Phangan. And he regarded the autopsy and the inquiry as being, quote, almost medieval, unquote. I'll put a link to a YouTube video that I made about that, and that YouTube video has other links to articles that quote the senior coroner. In addition, it's also worth pointing out that one thing which the article omitted was the death of a young British man by the name of Ben Harrington, who died on the 30th of August 2012, which is only a little over a year before the other death which we're highlighting at the moment. So it would seem that whereas the writers and researchers and directors picked up one previous death on Koh Tao, they didn't actually go to a lot of effort or to investigate what other deaths of tourists had occurred there. And of course, I have in other videos highlighted the glassing attack on a young man from Jersey, which occurred only 4 months before Hannah Miller and David Witheridge were killed. But overall, this was the highlight, I think, of the documentary. So I give credit to Tom Stone and his crew for what they've done, at least in this part. Thank you very much again for watching until the very end. I hope that you will continue viewing and look at part 6, which I'll be making very shortly. If you have found this at all informative, please press like and please share with your friends on social media. Please stay safe for now. Cheers.